Well, the Senate has voted tonight to start debate on a general immigration bill. The Senate expected to formally begin debating this legislation as early as tonight. Here now to discuss, Deneen Borelli, Fox News contributor and CRTV.com host, Stephanie Hamill, National Diversity Coalition for Trump advisor and a Washington Examiner contributor, and Kayleigh McEnany, the RNC spokeswoman. Kayleigh, let me start with you. All right, this is the first big step toward a major project. Everyone voted, 97-1 voted for it, so obviously there's a lot of, everyone's anxious to get something done. How do you think it plays out this time?
Well, everyone's anxious to get their comments on the record and to be heard advocating for DACA on the Senate floor in the case of the Democrats. But what we need to see from Democrats is a willingness to work with us. President Trump has said, I will give you DACA. I will give you more than DACA. I'll give you 1.8 million illegal immigrants a path to citizenship. But you have to give something in return. You supported a southern border wall in 2013. Chuck and Nancy, it's time to show up and support it again if you care about DACA recipients, because right now it doesn't look like you do.
Well, we had 7 Republican senators led by Chuck Grassley filing this bill, the Secure and Succeed Act. He just had some comments about this a moment ago. I want to take a listen.
This bill is the only Senate bill that has any chance of becoming law because of what the president has said about the 4 pillars that are so important to him as president. If our colleagues are serious about actually finding a real and permanent solution to DACA crisis, they should be ready and willing to support this compromise.
All right, Stephanie, everyone knows the 4 pillars President Trump has talked about. The Democrats know. What do you think? I hear what Kayleigh is saying, and I think the Democrats are in an awkward position, particularly Nancy Pelosi, because they've promised this for so long to the core constituents, and they haven't delivered. And President Trump has offered up a pretty good deal.
Well, it's an extremely awkward position. If you look at what the American people care about, we do know that the American people, they do support DACA. They support the president's plan on giving 1.8 million people a pathway to citizenship, which President Obama never had, which a lot of people didn't even know. And so it's not unreasonable for the president to ask for more border security, and the American people want that. So, I mean, this is the best of both worlds. Right. This is one of the most generous plans you could ever imagine, but they don't want to have President Trump own this. This would be a huge success. I mean, this is the closest thing we'd ever have to comprehensive immigration reform, and it has everything that we need. When it comes to the diversity visa lottery program, we got to get rid of that. That's not helping our country. We also want to make sure that we have a merit-based system where we're having people come to this country that are going to benefit.
But the one area, though, is chain migration. It feels like if there's going to be a line in the sand, because I feel like Democrats know that the wall is non-negotiable. It looks like they're circling the wagons around chain migration. They even gave it a different, more politically correct term. I forgot what it was. But what do you think about that being a deal breaker?
Well, they're great for changing the terms and the language to make it more warm and fuzzy sounding. But yeah, the chain migration, the visa lottery, the payment funding for the wall, that is what the president campaigned on. That is one of his promises, America first. But when it comes to the Democrats, Charles, again, and I'll say it over and over again, it's about resist. I think what the president has done is box them in, and he has exposed the Democrats, because they could have done something when President Obama was in office. Sure. They didn't. They need this as a campaign tool to run on, to try to drive their base to the polls and keep them angry.
Do you see a deal getting done?
I hope that there will be a deal that is done. But if there is no deal done, the Democrats are going to be hurt by this. Because, again, this is
something... Will Republicans run against Democrats, say, hey, they had a chance to get the DACA? Will this be their opportunity to reach out and expand the party a little bit beyond, the traditional voters?
Absolutely, they can use this. And we know that they're going to say, oh, well, Republicans are supporting amnesty. And this is something that a conservative would normally not support. Because when you give out amnesty, you're rolling out the red carpet for every single other person in the world that wants to come here and not follow the process. It does send a bad message, but that's why President Trump included everything else in this bill, so he knows that we're not playing around anymore. We're gonna support these children that were brought here, by no fault of their own, and then, but this is it. This is the last time. We're not going to do it anymore. We're going to do E-Verify.
So let me ask Kayleigh, because we've got a March 5th deadline approaching very rapidly. How do you see it all playing out? Does resist mean more to Democrats than keeping a core pledge that they've made to a key constituent group for a long time?
Charles, that is the optimal question that anyone could ask, because right now it appears all Democrats care about is resisting. I agree, they want to keep this issue alive. They want to run on this in 2018. But every DACA recipient out there, every so-called dreamer out there who is watching this, make no mistake about it. President Obama put you in this situation by leveling an unconstitutional executive action to give you temporary status, and then Democrats are keeping you here by not coming to the table and negotiating. What have Democrats given up in this immigration deal? Nothing. They do not care about DACA recipients. They only care about obstructing and hurting this presidency.
Ladies, thank you all very, very much. Appreciate it.